So teacher education, I think that at the moment, it has become really very passive activity. I think so if really continues, then perhaps, we can't really expect, there's so much from the teacher education. And that's why, NACTE, National Accreditation Council for Teacher Education, and Higher Education Commission, Islamabad, both have really, there's a very decisive, very, there's a eager that, our teacher education should really be standardized, and our standards of the accreditation are very high. I think many teacher education programs which they claim that their teacher education programs are the best, but not all of them, have made X category. Only perhaps, one or two out of, there's hundreds, teacher education programs have made the X category. Some W category, and most of them are at the Y level. Y level is the really bottom. So you can imagine where do we stand, So I think this is really high time that we have to raise, bar of the teacher education in terms of the curriculum, in terms of, assessment, in terms of the delivery, in terms of the practical. There are teacher education institutions within, Pakistan, that's a old traditional pedagogy, is the old assessment, practices, and the curriculum that, we developed way back, which has not yet been, reviewed. Being a chairperson of the National Accreditation Council of Teacher Education, and I have taken up, this matter with the Higher Education Commission, and Higher Education Commission has already established a National Curriculum Review Committee, and I am the member of the committee, and two meetings have already been conducted. Who are the really driving force? I think teacher educators. And the question is, where do they come from? I think that the teacher educators, perhaps, we don't have at the moment a separate cadre of the teacher educators, They are the faculty of education, in the public sector, they are selected, through certain, processes, but I think there's no cadre of the teacher educators, per se. So if we really look at who are the teacher educators, what are the qualities, professional and academic, and the research qualities that we can really see in the teacher educators, and then, recruit them in the teacher educator. So it's a whole area of teacher education is a major issue, and we need to really address, and I'm glad that Higher Education Commission and the National Accreditation Council, which both of them have already started, taking, this issue seriously, and inshallah ta'ala we will bring about, reform changes in teacher education curriculum, in assessment practices, in the delivery, and the overall, the practicum component. For example, other professions, for example, medical professions or other, and particularly taking example of medical profession, the students, they get lot of, theory. And similarly, the students in teacher education program, they'll get, lot of theory. But, then if there is a really match between theory and practice, then perhaps, that can make, teacher education program more pragmatic and practical. And that's the medical education, model that we are trying to apply, bringing a clinical component of teacher education in the school. So we are really trying to put internship, trying to make a practical component more powerful, so that the teachers that they are able to integrate theory into practice this year. And that's why I really call teacher education is a really blend of theory and the practice, which makes this teacher education as a praxis. And praxis is really a marriage between theory and practice this year.